Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
If you love freedom,
as government expands, liberty contracts.
If you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
And welcome back. This is Upfront Outspoken. Of course, I'm your host, Bob Williams, in overtime. And the reason why we had technical problems earlier, and we have them now cleared up. On the phone with me is one gentleman, and I have to really give him a lot of credit. He is spearheading a special event for a very special young lady. If you haven't heard me talk about it at all this week, I don't know where the hell you've been. The lady's name, 14-year-old Jessica Shainberg, is in a hospital in Nashville, Tennessee, suffering from what is called Transverse Myelitis. It affects the spinal cord. What happened? One day Jessica got up. She had tingling in her legs, tingling in her feet, went to the hospital. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They sent her home. Days later, Jessica tries to get up, can't move. She's paralyzed from the waist down, and after hours and hours of testing, including a spinal tap, MRIs at a children's hospital, she was finally determined to have transverse myelitis. So on the phone with me is a man that has spearheaded this event. I'm talking about James Napier. Once again, James, welcome back to the program.
First of all, I'll say it's Napier, but it's okay. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to try this again for the second time and do a little stomping on the devil's head real quick, because it's got to be told, sir. It
does, because the thing is this disease doesn't affect a lot of people, but it affects people between the ages of 10 and 19, 30 and 39. And unfortunately, Jessica is afflicted with this. She's going to have to go through months of rehabilitation and treatment, and it appears that she may be transferred, and I'm hoping she gets transferred to the best facility in the country that can handle this, and that's at Johns Hopkins University up in Baltimore. Now, James, tell me, and once again, tell the audience how you got involved in Jessica's plight.
Well, with my little condition, I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of riding in the shadows, if you will. Hardly anybody knows what I do, but this situation looks like I've been put in a position I've got to come out in the shadows, and I will for this child. I was probably about 2 weeks out into a little, shall we say, deal where I haven't been home, and it was my time to go home, and I was headed south out of Atlanta, and my wife showed me an ABC leak, thanks to some friends that I have, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that, so that little leak was showed to me, and it turned out to be a beautiful thing coming straight out of Nashville, because it made me realize that I did a quick research check on the man, Mr. Jeff Shainberg, and I did it through Facebook instantly, the quickest way to do it for me at that time, and I realized who he and I had as the only mutual friend. And I reached out to that one mutual friend, a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Eric Mellencamp of Rocket Tone Records. And I asked him, did he know this guy? At first he said no. But then when I told him the association of how he may know him from the Stockyard restaurant, he knew instantly. And he asked me what was wrong. And by this point I had done turned around. When I realized it was Eric's friend, I knew something wasn't right. The credibility is here because, Eric's a pretty good fella, but it's hard to get on his Facebook page. So I reached out. By that point, I had to turn around going north instead of going home, and I was actually headed into the ice storm that everybody was running away from. But the more closer I got, by the time Eric and I had verbally spoken, it had done been made clear, and I had done spoken to Mr. Jeff to tell him I was on the way, thanks to a friend telling me to go deliver a message. But once I heard that message, I spoke to Jeff again, and I scheduled it to be there on Saturday, at which point myself and Mr. Jimmy Parker, independent Nashville recording artist, went up in there, and well, I guess I maybe told him more than I should, or maybe I told him just enough that God did what needed to be done, because the Channel 5 News was waiting, and we made some announcements, and we put a little pep in the young lady's step. But she's such an inspiration, a true example of what any type of disease, but especially her disease being so violent, she's putting on such an example of just, I guess, like an ambassador, I would say.
Well, I've had a chance to look at the videos of Jessica that have been put up on her various Facebook pages since this tragedy. And here you have this very vibrant, very active, and very talented individual, a young lady, who is stricken by such a terrible illness, and if she doesn't get the treatment she needs, the paralysis could be permanent. And this is the thing, she has a chance to overcome this. And everybody out there, I don't care who you are, if you have a child and you don't want that child getting sick, you don't want that child suffering from especially something as devastating as this. And mind you, Jeff is a single parent raising a very vibrant, bright-eyed, talented young lady. And I urge everybody, please go to the fundraising effort at GoFundMe.com/KH8RSK. Go there, or go to any U.S. bank across the country, make a donation, tell them, look, this is for the Jessica Shainberg Fund. It's SHAINBERG Fund. Make a donation to this, because it is so vital, so important that we all get behind Jessica. Now, I know you have a benefit that you are scheduling for the first week in February. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, what I'll release on that deal is I had spoken with a dear young lady, affiliate working with me out of Nashville. I'll just leave it as Miss Kimberly, and she's helped me very much so to further the endeavors of the Dirt Road Life and Rocket Tone Records presenting, with the help of the Beauty of Music with Sherry Justice. We're going to have a fundraiser. It's going to be downtown, and the original proposal was going to be February the 6th or February the 7th, but after I told the dad that this morning, I find out another fact I had overlooked, and that is that Jessica's birthday is on February the 7th. So with the faith to move mountains, I'm going to lean forward on my little speaking into existence. It's already a mind thought. It's already touched my heart. I've already seen the vision, and I'm going to follow through and speak it into existence, so I, as well as anyone else, can hear this deal. It's kind of an utmost situation that, even though I am a childhood cancer advocate, and even though I am very much against a disease that has no discrimination of any type, breed, or nationality in the world, childhood cancer, this little disease this young lady faces is just as bad. It's only got 1,400 statistically new TM diagnoses each year, but even those have no discriminations, And when you look at the key 4 symptoms of this young lady's disease, this is what the world needs to realize. Most of us have the same problem.
Exactly.
Number one weakness being the weakness of the legs and arms, the second being sensory alterations, and the third being pain localized to the back, radiating down through the legs, and the fourth, occasional bladder dysfunctions. Most anybody that wants to be real and come truth with they have 2, 3, if not all 4 of those symptoms. Unfortunately, this young lady went to a hospital, and they took it upon themselves after a little brief test, and they sent them home and said, here, it's going to be okay. Well, the next day, it turns out she wakes up paralyzed from the hip down. I'd say it's not okay, but luckily, Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, that are outstanding of an organization I know in childhood cancer formalities, but it doesn't seem on this TM disease they have quite the standards of a few others, and even their doctors, their names will not be mentioned, as well as Texas doctors, New York doctors, and even one doctor I will name, an Atlanta, Georgia, retired pediatric doctor that took care of me when I had leukemia, Roger Vega, and I spoke of this yesterday, and I spoke with the Children's Miracle Network in Savannah as well as over in Salt Lake, and at the end of the day, Roger Vega was right. We got to pour the heat up, and if we have to do this in the press, so be it. But, you know, this is a situation that the bottom line is this problem could affect any one of us. Anybody that woke up this morning with breath in their lungs and strength in their feet must accept that it is a blessing. That child went to bed. She woke up. She couldn't move from the hip down, but she's got the heart that, by God, I wish this world had, because the love she puts off. She is, I love my little angel. I've seen the expressions from that face several times throughout many children of my time to help with cancer, like Wes Pack, August Williams, L.J. Clausen, even Joshua Wiggins. I see so many people just light up like a Christmas tree, but never one time have I felt the love and the true tranquility of God blessing a situation as they're doing this for this child. Dirt road life, this is the bottom line. I'm not taking no for an answer. I've got enough phone numbers in downtown Nashville with some greats that I've been stirring the waters, and I'm going to continue stirring the waters as long as I've got people like Eric Mellencamp at Rocket Tone Records ready to take this to the next level. I will assure you, no is not an acceptable answer. This child will end up in Baltimore, and it's not going to. This has got to happen, because this could happen to anyone. And I'm very proud of the organization down in southern Alabama, I think it's Birmingham area, the Transverse Myelitis, and I can't pronounce it, please forgive me, but they're doing great things. But it's time to take it to the next level.
It is.
This situation can happen to any one of us at any time, even myself. And if we don't grab it by the cojones, if you will, please excuse me, and take it to the next level while it's got the opportunity. I don't know. I hope that it never gets to be so severe or intense of a situation that childhood cancer has become. There is an opportunity to stop this situation and help bring more awareness, and that is the key to why I'm here. And I'm glad that I've got people like Mr. Eric Mellencamp and Miss Georgia Clark of Dirt Road Live, and even Sherry Justice of The Beauty of Music.
You know, we're glad to have you on, because you can tell right in your voice how passionate you are about helping this young lady and getting this all coordinated in such a very short period of time. And once again, everybody, I am imploring you, as Jim had said, this can actually affect anybody, but it's been, more targeted between 10 and 19, 30 to 39, but it could happen to anybody. Jessica could be your daughter. Jessica could be your child, and it could happen to you. So don't ever think just because it happened to somebody else, it can't happen to you. It can. Even though this is very small, very, very few people are afflicted by this every year, it still has got to be addressed. And I'm encouraging you, help this young lady and her dad get to Baltimore, get the treatment that she needs. Go to GoFundMe.com/KH8RSK, or go to any U.S. bank and make a donation to the Jessica Shainberg. I'll get it right. Jessica Shainberg Fund, and that's SHAINBER. Go there, make a donation, because this is such a vital. This is so important. And I got to thank, once again, I've got to thank Jim here and Jimmy Parker for bringing this to our attention, and we are so glad to do whatever we can on our end to support this. But now it's up to you people. Now, Jim, the thing a lot of people are wondering about, you've been in very constant contact with her father, and you had a couple of emails you received over the last several hours or within the past day. Would you want to share them with us?
I most certainly will, but as I'm pulling that back up, I'd like to do something that was done to me my whole life. This is the dirt road life. I get corrected every once in a while. Please don't be mad when I do this. I want to make it perfectly clear. My uncle's name was Jimmy, and I loved him. My dad's name is James, and I love him. My name is James, and I just want to clarify I'm not Jim, and it's nothing, and no disrespect to anybody. I just want to clarify that.
No, not a problem. I'm glad you corrected me. Otherwise, I probably would have used it.
Actually, I'm not just correcting you. There's a few people I know that's listening that I've already had this conversation with, so I'm just, in case this little video goes viral, like Mr. Mitch Neary, the last person that I helped out, you know, that daddy situation with Kane and James that you were aware of.
Right.
That video got 8 million views, so I just want to make it clear that my name's not Jim, it's James. There's no disrespect towards anybody when I said that. I just want to say that.
Now, you had a couple of emails from Jeff, her Jessica's father. You know, could you go ahead and share them with us?
Family update. It says Jessica is slowly learning to rehabilitate and slowly walk again with assistance. She is working hard in therapy to get everything working properly. Every day she is showing a little progress. It will take time, and she needs the right surroundings and therapy combo in order to walk normally. Nashville has no experts in the TM condition. It's so important with this illness to have experts working with her. Closest hospital for children in this situation is Atlanta, but the best is in Baltimore. Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, they specialize in the transverse myelitis. Now, when I received that comment, I reached out to the dad and I asked him, was he aware of it? He said he was. And I asked him, well, why don't you just go ahead, because he was actually checking on me at 4 o'clock this morning Eastern time to make sure I was ready. And I said, buddy, I got you. I love this Shainberg family, but if you would, why don't you send me something like that and tell me something you got to say, even though he's coming in here tomorrow. And again, thank you for that, Mr. Bob. But this is what the dad said this morning about 4:30. He said, as Jessica's dad, I love her more than anything. I plan on being by her side through all her treatments. I'm trying to raise money because I don't have the insurance to get her there. I've stopped working to devote all my efforts towards helping Jessica walk again. I know Baltimore is the best place for Jessica to fully recover if possible. I would do anything to get her there. Jessica doesn't want to rehab in Nashville at Vanderbilt because they have nothing for kids in her condition. The equipment they have is way outdated and not good enough for her, much less our other kids to come with this situation. No school programs, no younger people to talk to, and it's a heavy environment when you walk. It's a heavy environment when you walk in over there, keeping in mind she has visited this place across the road. It brings her down when she looks at it. I care about my child. I want her to feel great and do well in rehab and furthering other opportunities for this TM illness. Baltimore is our destination, and through grace, Baltimore, here we come. So that is Jeff Shainberg, the father's words this morning at about, and I checked it just now, it's 5:15 Eastern time.
You know, the one thing that I noticed when I was reading through what they call the profile page on her GoFundMe campaign, this is an exact quote from this people. You can tell the father is very passionate about his daughter. Here's what he said. He said, Jessica has been a healthy, athletic 14-year-old girl, and then overnight she woke up paralyzed. She recently joined the tennis team at her school. We've been told it could be weeks before she regains any movement in her legs and months before she can walk again. There's also a chance she may never walk again normally, if at all. And it is good to hear when James just mentioned that she is starting to get some mobility back. But folks, some is not all. We need to get involved. We need to get behind this. We need to help Jessica. You know, go to the fundraising event that James was talking about when it comes up there in Nashville. You know, go to U.S. Bank, any U.S. Bank, anywhere in the country. Make a donation to the Jessica Shainberg Fund. That's SHAINBER. Go there or go to GoFundMe.com/KH8RSK. Now he's only asking for $10,000, but folks, this is a man who loves his child so much. He's with her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gave up his job to be with his daughter. So you know as well as I do, $10,000 is not going to cover everything. Let's see you take this, double it, make Jessica shine even more than she does now. Now we've only got about 5 minutes left here, and I want to get something from you in regards to when you are the event that you're planning it now, from my understanding, going to correlate with Jessica's birthday on the 7th. Is there any name that currently is confirmed to be on the bill for this event?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because we do have a very strong ties with the media out of Nashville waiting on breaking news. I'm going to give you this much. I can tell you that when you're working with people like Eric Mellencamp of the Mellencamp family, Taylor Morrison of the Morrison family, you never know what's going to happen, Cap, but I can tell you this, the ones that I've reached out to are waiting on what you have just received, February the 7th. I haven't given you the location, but I do have people like Mila Mason. I've had, my last event, I had Karen Wheeler, Jimmy Payne. I know for a fact that the people with T. Graham Brown know about this. A few people at the Opry as well know about this. There's going to be some players, because you see, this whole drive is all about, is being called Dirt Road Life and Rocky Tone Records presents Family Taking a Stand with Jessica. And at the end of the day, when the truth becomes known, as the dust settles, everybody in the world, I promise you, I speak on my word, I promise you, they're going to be talking about this child long after they're talking about people like her dream come true was to meet Taylor Swift. We did find out she was in Hawaii, and then at some point she was supposed to be going from there to New York, and, well, she was at the Grammys on Tuesday night. There again, not going to be aggressive about it, unruly, but that's the way I understand it. And seemed like as many people in Nashville know about it, maybe Taylor would have.
It would be nice. It would be nice. It would definitely be a supercharge in Jessica's arm. That's for sure. Now, once again,
one thing I want to say before I let you go is this: when you got people like the former mayor, Mayor Ron Jones, and like I said, the Morrisons, the Mellencamps, and this type of nature of the entertainment world helping to make this event, family stepping up for Jessica, happen, I can promise you this: regardless what the charge at the door is, it's going to be worth just as much as an opportunity to go into some of the greatest award shows that have ever been seen on television, because the people that I plan to see coming, it's going to be a family stepping up for Jessica. And I am proud to be able to work with the people that I have, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But if it wasn't for people like the people of my very own hometown, when I had this leukemia situation, doctors gave up on me. They came in there just like what I'm trying to do, bringing a little bit of that dirt road life ethics and morals, remembering who your neighbors are and knowing everybody, waving at everybody. We live in a world nobody knows who lives 3 houses down. So the dirt road life ethics has got to ring true and bring some brothers and sisters of quality love to this child. And I don't care if it's going to take motorcycles, as I've dealt with in years. I don't care if it takes my truckers from the convoy for the kids that I have for years. I don't care what organization I got to bring into this. I am about to shake the nation with this child, but I'm going to do it from the heart of Nashville.
There you go.
Won't accept no for an answer. This child's got to go to Baltimore.
There you go. I'm going to be bringing you back on here on Monday, so that way you can give us a live update. We're going to get you back here right at 7 o'clock Central Time. James, it has been a pleasure having you on the air. Stay with me for just a couple of minutes. Everybody else, it's time for me to get out of here. Stay tuned, because coming up right after NPR News all the way up until 4 o'clock, Ed Till will be here until tomorrow, 6 a.m. This is Bob Williams. Take care of yourselves.